mention, Chris, 2 wins on this trip.
Canucks 2-2 in the trip so far. The losses coming in Pittsburgh, where they ran into a hot goaltender, in Detroit. The wins against Toronto and Buffalo. And Ed Jovanovski starts paired with Murray Barron. There's Messier, and he's really been playing strong hockey in the last couple of weeks. Redden racing for the puck, beaten to it, however. And now Radek Bonk takes over. Out with Marian Hossa and Chris Phillips. The big defenseman up on left wing. Here's Naslund over the line. Naslund takes a look, and a shot goes off target.
Chris, right off the hop, Phillips playing left wing, moved in and took the body on Jovanovski. Phillips can finish checks. That's one good reason why they have the big former defenseman playing left wing. He can forecheck well enough to take the body, and does.
That was the strength of the line with Magnus Arvidsson, Bonk, and Hossa, their forechecking ability. Arvidsson, of course, gone for the rest of the year. Here's Olin. Watched by McEachern. Murray Barron coming off a strong game in Buffalo with 7 block shots. Rolls it in deep. Earl Kruken behind the net trying to center it. And it's picked off by Dackel. He starts away McEachern. Puck slid off his stick over the line. Dackel follows up. And now Olin retrieves the puck for the Canucks. Kruken bumped at center ice, and the Canucks rolling their lines quickly. As Redden goes back to touch it, an icing call, 90 seconds.
Will play more than the third and fourth.
Darby Hendrickson won that faceoff, and the puck off the glass out to center. Hendrickson goes back to the bench, and Naslund comes back, and we've seen Mark Crawford do this in recent games, double shifting Marcus Naslund. Dineen over the line, broken up by Strudwick. Here's Bertuzzi, the Sudbury native, bumped by Prospel. York and Redden on the Senators' defense. Winnie Prospel. He lost the puck as Strudwick pinched in. And now Redden off the skate with Rob Zaminer, who's the left winger on the line with Prospel and Dineen. Right wing pass. Here's the veteran Dineen. Teeing it up and a shot. A hot one off Potvin into the seats.
First shot by Ottawa. Dineen played the last game for Ottawa, win over Tampa Bay, and they didn't know if he'd be able to play because of back spasms.
In this face-off for the Senators.
For a while. Van Allen's in there now.
And Sean, normally the center iceman, Kevin Miller, just called up his 9th NHL team. And from that scrum, Miller along the boards. Colin Forbes working against Oland on the end boards. Forbes, big strong kid from Edmonton, hands it off to Van Allen. The centering pass cut off there by Oland. Now Barron hands it up the boards, and Brad May along left wing can't get it out. Canucks hemmed in here with York, Chubarov, and May. Here's May knocking down the high pass. He's got Chubarov in front, but well tied up on the play. Grant Ledger did the job on the 2-on-1. The headwear, it was minus 15 here yesterday, and the equipment guys ended up using socks as hats.
The Dover Court rink here in Ottawa, the players loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Some of the guys were saying they haven't done it in 5-10 years.
Some have never done it, skated outdoors like that.
There's Bonk in front, and a blast by Salo off target. Bonk again comes up with a puck against Strudwick. Senators pressing to the attack in the early going. Messier battling and kicks it loose to Strudwick. And now Strudwick to the line, knocked down there by Salo, but Messier takes over for Vancouver. Here comes the captain leading a 3-on-2, drops to Naslund, and Tugnut tested early.
Salo kept the puck in, but the Canucks controlled it. 3-on-2, had the good shot.
Now McEachern, a quick shot and unable to come up with a rebound, and Messier turns it back as they start to open it up. The captain over the line for Brashear, who had the game winner Thursday in Buffalo.
Was that some pass by Messier to Naslund to set up the shot? Man, Bonk has been on the ice twice, both times against Messier.
Mark Messier averaging over a point a game in his last dozen. Seemed to be getting back in high gear. He admitted that maybe he pressed himself back a little too quickly after the knee injury.
Yeah, well, that's the history of Mark. He'll do that, and in turn, it doesn't help himself or his team. But you can sense he's real healthy right now. I thought he was the best player in the 2-1 win in Buffalo.
They jam along the board. Salmoner in the midst of it. Now it comes loose. Here's a chance for Proskal. That shot blocked in front by Barron.
So Barron had at least 5 blocked shots in Buffalo. He's very, very strong in that area, and that was a key block in the Vancouver zone.
Now Ledger. Look out. Proskal was lined up and nailed by Bertuzzi. Brashear and Bertuzzi keep it in. Over on the far side, there's Andrew Castles. He's draped against the glass by Ledger. Up moves Jovanovski. Pretty good tempo in the early going as these teams are skating and hitting well.
And a lot of it has to do with the Canucks. Don't underestimate them. They played well recently. One clunker, that was their loss in Detroit, but they played well at a high tempo.
Not the only team recently that's had trouble at Joe Louis Arena. Now Proskal, nice feather pass down the ice. Well, just a stride too far for Salmoner at the end of the shift, and now Bertuzzi starts back. Tied up there by Miller, but Bertuzzi stuck with it and bounces it in on Tugnutt. Naslund first man down. Kravchuk watching him. Loose puck and Hendrickson is there.
And Naslund getting more ice time than any other Canuck forward. He's been double shifted twice now.
Canucks without Sheriff Yanov, who went out of the Buffalo game with a hip pointer, so a little lean up front, and they're trying to get Naslund out of a slump. They've hit the 6-minute mark of the opening period. Game 1 of our Hockey Night in Canada triple header. Hendrickson, he's bounced there by York, but stays with it. Shot wide on the short side. Around it goes, and Colin Forbes starts back. Forbes rolling it in, and he'll head to the Ottawa bench on a change. Greg Hogwood. That's pass misfired at center. And Wade Redden gets to the red line. He'll dump it in, and Hossa gives chase.
And again, it's the Bonk line against the Messier line. It's third time now in the first period where they've been head-to-head.
Thought Jacques Martin said he wasn't going to match today.
So far, he's matched.
There's Chris Phillips. His shot off the skate and out of play off Murray Barron. We're scoreless in the first period in the nation's capital.
For sure. Generally speaking, being from Peterborough, you're from this area. How about the news that the Senators are staying and there's a future here, and for you, perhaps a bright one?
Yeah, it's great. We were all excited when we heard the news, and the players were definitely pulling for everyone to stay here, and hockey is Canada here in the capital, and it's great that we can be playing here for many years down the road.
Nicely said, Mike. Good luck with your rehab.
Thanks, Scott.
Guys.
Mike Fisher certainly made an impression in his rookie year. Good skating, tough center iceman.
So when you see serious knee injuries, you just think of Hossa and how he's been able to come back from a serious knee injury. Today, Chris, the rehab program's so strong, the doctor's so good, all you have to do is work and you'll be back and in good shape. Like Salo on the ice now, number 5. Coming back from the fracture in his arm. 2 plates, 8 screws holding it together.
Twice fractured in the same season.
Yeah, he's wearing a special elbow pad sent over from Europe that's got an extension to it to protect his arm.
Boy, Jacques Martin is happy to get him back in the lineup.
There's Ottawa with the trap as the Canucks have a set breakout.
And Messier through center. He'll get it in deep. Tugnutt plays it to the boards, and the captain right there. Messier centers it. The shot blocked flat. Took another shot at it into the glove of Tugnutt.
What you're seeing with Mark Crawford here is defensive faceoffs. He's got either Darby Hendrickson out there or Messier out there. He's putting some people that are really good in their own zone. And when the puck's moved out, then those guys will go to the bench and change. He doesn't want to take any chances in his own zone. Here's the scoring chance as Potvin will work hard here. Or pardon me, make that Tugnutt as the shot was floating up high and he hangs on for the faceoff. And we're seeing Messier and Naslund and the Vancouver Canucks best players get a lot of ice time here, and I think they're structuring their game around getting the first goal here. They want that first goal and make Ottawa open up a little bit. The Senators, when they get the first goal, we know how good they are defensively and how they can hang on to those leads.
Well, the first meeting of the year between these two teams, it was an Ottawa win 2-1. Senators scored 2 in the first period, and then they battened down the hatches. Canucks didn't score until the final minute of the game. York keeps it in. Strudwick now bouncing it out to center ice. Brad May, Castles, and Bertuzzi out for Vancouver. Jason York and Wade Redden teaming up on the Ottawa defense. A dangerous pass got out to Kevin Dineen, and now Castles back to get it. A former Ottawa 67, Andrew Castles. Now Bertuzzi over the line, makes a move on Ledger. Great play by Bertuzzi, and Tucknut makes the save, but Todd Bertuzzi drawing the penalty on that fine individual effort. When we come back, Vancouver will be on the power play.
Vancouver on the power play.
And JD, in the last few games, they've been working on a lot of set plays, backside plays, and this power play has looked dangerous.
Yeah, even there, Castles, who plays the point, moved down as Tucknut made the save. On the near side, Castles was sneaking down for Mark Crawford. You know, they've only had 218 power play chances going into this game, talking about Vancouver. And they're one of the 4 fewest teams getting those chances. Messier leads with 5, Castles with 4 power play goals. But I think they sense they've worked hard. Bertuzzi made a great play to draw the power play. Now they need it to work.
They win another face-off. Messier back to Oland. Castles, the other point man here. Kept it in, got it out to Messier, tees it up, and the tip by Klatt is high off the glass. They're working against the 5th best penalty killing unit in the NHL. In fact, only Dallas and New Jersey have surrendered fewer power play goals. Castles again kept it in. Matthias Oland. Back to Castles. Messier calling for it, but they go to the other side. Naslund snaps it right on. And the rebound to Salo off the glass. Knocked down by Castles again. Rink wide Messier. Back to Naslund, and what a goal! Messier cross ice to Naslund, and the Marcus Naslund slump is over.
How about the power play? And this thing's ranked 19th against a very good Ottawa penalty kill team. The puck was moved around like a pinball, these guys. There's a shot that's stopped. The rebound gets away. Klatt with some good hard work. And the puck is kept in by Castles. Wide pass and then another one. And bingo. I mean, they just moved the puck around exceptionally well. Messier knows where it's going before he gets it. Slides it across. Once he opened up that seam, you can see he realizes the goal's been scored. Vancouver's earned the 1-0 lead. Bertuzzi did a great job to draw the power play for Vancouver, and their unit made it work.
So they get that early goal you were anticipating. And we've just passed the 10-minute mark. The time of the goal, 9:57. Naslund, his 17th, first in 8 games. Messier and Castles, the assists. And with Mark Messier playing this well, the debate and the decision that Brian Burke has to make will get even tougher, or more intriguing.
Don't tell me he can't play anymore. He's been exceptional in the recent games that I've watched, winning faceoffs too. He won 20 of 28 the other night in Pittsburgh.
There's a pad save by Potvin off Chris Phillips, and Brashear starts back. Upended there by Bonk, rolling it in, and Harold Druken on the puck. Druken was one of the few in Detroit earlier in the week that looked dangerous offensively for Vancouver. And he was a gifted scorer in junior with Plymouth. Now Bonk for Ottawa. Phillips off the boards to the Vancouver line, and it's rolled back in.
Shots are 8-3 Vancouver, and Vancouver's been the better skating team here. They're getting closer to the Senators when the Senators have the puck, and they've earned their lead here. The Senators not skating as well as what we've seen in the past. And they've won 3 of their last 4. A couple of those games, the win over Carolina, they were complete from start to finish. And here Vancouver is surprising them a little bit with their tempo.
Really 2 of the best back-to-back games the Senators have had this season. In those victories, there's a long pass on the tape to Zamaner. He fires it in. McEachern on the far side. Bumped there by Sopel. There's the newcomer to the Vancouver lineup, Brent Sopel. Just called up from Syracuse.
He did play a few games for Vancouver last year. This is his first shift, and I think the coaching staff will watch this and see if he can earn some more shifts on the ice with Hoggood. By the way, he played last night. And last night, Steve Correa had 4 goals as Syracuse beat Albany 7-4 in that game. So Steve Correa's been on a tear in the minors.
As he ever 9 goals in 8 games in Syracuse. Surprised he didn't get the call up, but I guess they're going to let Steve Correa find himself in Syracuse. You're watching Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Labatt Blue. Juneau and Messier, and again, Messier wins the draw.
First time, Chris, we've seen Juneau go against Messier here in the first period. He's been bonk every other shift.
Naslund stood up at the line, couldn't beat Salo. And Kravchuk starts back for Ottawa. And he has benefited from the return of Sammy Salo. Messier winding up for the Canucks. Pass off the skate to Platt.
Crawford again, and Hendrickson on the ice, and he went off after Messier won the draw. He was out there for insurance. Mark Crawford here in the first period is just every face-off in his own zone. He's playing to win. He can't afford to give up a goal, and he's playing the percentages.
Desperate times for the Canucks. 12 points out of a playoff spot and running out of time in the Western Conference. There's Juneau deep in his own zone to the line. Jovanovski has it there. There's a shot, and Tuchka, a big save. Traffic in front of the net. Phillips starts back for the Senators with Wade Redden. And Phillips lost the puck there. Jason Strudwick took it away, and he'll start back. Nice pass to Harry York. York at the end of a shift bounces it in wide of the net. Under 6.5 minutes remaining in the opening period. Vancouver's outshot Ottawa 9-3 and a 1-0 lead on the power play goal. A couple of big men collide there as Jovanovski hit Phillips. Now Strudwick takes it away. Still looking for his first NHL goal. Nifty pass, Matt Cook off the outside of the goal post.
Senators were changing. That almost cost them on that play.
A shot knocked down at the point and back out to center. Barron headmans it to Cook, who wears the full shield with a 30-stitch gash suffered earlier this week in Pittsburgh. Barron gets it to Messier. Bad angle shot right on. Messier up with the rebound. Crude in front, and Prospel starts back with Zamaner. Here's Vinny Prospel. Shot, pad save, Potvin, and a penalty coming up as Zamaner was interfered with in front of the net. So Ottawa gets its first power play when we come back. Messier out in a penalty-killing role, along with Hendrickson, Olin, and Barron. Prospel starts on the power play for the Senators with McEachern and Dackel. And here's Kravchuk leading them out to center. Prospel against the boards, knocked it down, got it to Dackel. Now tried to feed it back to the point, broken up by Castles, and he'll roll it down and get a change for the penalty-killing unit.
Penalty-killing unit's changing every 15 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds for the Vancouver Canucks. Very up-tempo penalty-killing unit here so far.
Fifth game in 8 days for Vancouver. Third and 4 for both these teams. Here's Hossa and Phillips with it now behind the net. Out to Kravchuk, across it goes. Juneau's there. Bonk. Tried to return it to Juneau, and Darby Hendrickson gets it down and goes right to the bench again on a change. 50 seconds left in this power play. Messier back out. Juneau. Braddock bonk. There's a nice pass in front, and Redden shot. Ricocheted off a stick wide.
I think that was Olin, the defenseman, number 2 for Vancouver, that ricocheted the puck wide. So far, the Ottawa Senators haven't been able to have that set power play. They had Salo on the point to start the power play. He went off, as did Kravchuk, who stayed out there for quite some time. Only 25 seconds to go. No real set-up plays. See again, quick, aggressive penalty kill with fresh bodies on the ice.
Nice play there by Redden to keep it in, however. And now Dackel out to York. York, there's a shot by Prospel off the target on the one-timer. Now Dackel lost it. Barron to Naslund, and it's rolled out to Messier. One-on-one, Messier at the end of the penalty-killing shift rolls it in, and that'll do it as Cook has returned to the ice.
No shots, one good chance, and that was the pass by York down to Prospel. He shot the puck off the pass and missed the far goal post by about 4 inches.
That was one of the messages. Jacques Martin wanted to get through to Václav Prospel to start shooting the puck more, and he has been a hot scorer for Ottawa of late.
Zamaner back on the ice. He seems to be okay. He's had a left leg problem, but he seems to be okay.
Dineen rolling it back in deep. Jovanovski played it to the corner. Van Allen's there. There's Rob Zaminer. Being watched by Strudwick at the line. Laukkanen kept it in. Dineen on the near boards, and he's ridden out by Jovanovski as the puck's played down the ice.
It was a pretty good battle, Jovanovski and Dineen. That was a hard battle as Vancouver called for icing.
2:45 remaining in the opening period in Ottawa.
Got Bonk out there against Hendrickson. Hendrickson taking a lot of defensive zone draws, and if they win the puck and get it out, he goes off the ice.
Here's Ledgert sending it in front of the net. Tied up was Phillips, and Bertuzzi starts back. There goes Hendrickson to the bench again. Bertuzzi to the attack in the slot. Brad May stopped by Tucknut. A big save for Ron Tucknut, who's been the best Ottawa Senator.
He certainly has. So that's a great setup. May, I think, was a player that came off the bench for Hendrickson and went right into the high slot. Look at Bertuzzi with the power, moves the puck back, and there's the point-blank shot. Tucknut not only made the save, but held on, so there was no rebound. Now here you see Castles waiting, and he's nicely checked. And you can see he couldn't get his stick to the puck as Tucknut held onto the puck nicely. Brad May came off the ice. Darby Hendrickson's going on for faceoffs only. As soon as the puck's out of the zone, he's off. Somebody comes on. Bertuzzi is drawn on power play, which led to the only goal here. So he's played well. And May's coming off his best game of the season, I thought, the other night in Buffalo.
First game back in Buffalo since he was traded by the Sabres to Vancouver. May just missed Hossa with a hit at center ice. Phillips in after it for Ottawa with Bonk. Now Jovanovski for the Canucks around the boards and past Salo. It'll roll back down the ice. Wide of Tucknut, and another icing call against Vancouver.
You know, Chris, it's only the first period, but the Senators are going to have to go in and look around for their work boots and get a hard hat on because they've been outworked by the Canucks here. Jacques Martin fully understands that. Last Saturday they were in Montreal. They didn't have a good first period, but they reacted during the intermission and came out in Montreal. Even though they lost the game, they had a terrific second period. How about the Islanders? Butch Goring has been brilliant as a coach for them. They beat the Rangers in New York. They've defeated New Jersey in New Jersey. They tied in Philadelphia the other day. And this is just a young team that's really done a nice job. And the kid Weeks in goal has been hot.
New Jersey with the most points in the National Hockey League at this point, but
goes out there for the draw. Messier and Hendrickson again.
And once again, it'll be interesting to see the stats through 20 minutes on the faceoffs. Hendrickson missed Messier with the pass. He was hustling to get off the ice again. And a pass picked off by Naslund off the bench. Here's Messier snapping that patented wrist shot right on.
Ottawa's not picking up those players coming off the bench. May was a player and he had the high shot. That time Naslund came off and he got control of the puck.
And they're getting scoring opportunities because of it. But now Ottawa counters. Dackel backhand steered away by Potvin. Crossbow's on it for the Senators. Into the slot on the backhand, and a penalty stops play.
Dackel will go as Oland was clipped. It'll be an interference call. Crossbow set up some offense again. I think for Ottawa, the only player that's been around the puck in the offensive zone has been Crossbow. But this time in the offensive zone, Dackel ends up clipping Oland, who was standing there. Oland went down, and the interference call is made with 1:26 to go here in the first period. Potvin did make a save with his left leg. He hasn't had a whole lot of work, and it's a backhand shot by Dackel that Potvin cleared off to the side of the net. And then Oland was just standing there, and Dackel will move across and pick him off, shoulder on shoulder. The referee in the corner sees the play and makes the call. That moves the faceoff outside the zone. And Vancouver goes to work on their second power play. 1-for-1 so far.
It looked very impressive as they clicked on the goal by Naslund. His third power play goal of the year. From Castles and Messier. Kruken gets a chance on this power play. He hit the line, but the play is offside with 68 seconds remaining in the opening period.
A little shoving. First time we've seen that in the period. Bertuzzi down there involved, I think, with Bonk. As the faceoff comes outside the Ottawa zone. You know, I was thinking about Bonk in the '94 draft, Chris. #1 that year, in '94 in the draft, was Ed Jovanovski. Number 2 was Olaf Tverdovsky playing in Anaheim. Number 3 was Radek Bonk. Number 13, Oland. He's in this game. Pretty good year, wasn't it?
Sure was.
And number 51 that year was Patrick Elias. He's been a star this year playing for New Jersey on that line with Arnott in the middle and Sikora on the right side. So that's the 94 draft. And if you look at some of the top choices, man, there's some great choices. By the way, Ottawa, I think, picked up Netzcash that year, number 24, and he's since been moved to the Rangers, then on to Phoenix. But what a draft year that was.
Well, Mattias Ohlund, sidelined for much of this year, recovering from the eye injury. And he'll have to have more eye surgery at the end of the season. But we talk about that 94-95 draft. Now those players are starting to really come into their own.
4 years or 5 years, and Bonk also played, as we know, in the minor leagues before he got to the NHL. You get into the 4-year or 5-year range, that's when players develop into an NHL player. 50 seconds to go, 50.7 now, and the Messier unit back on the ice for this power play. Castles does play the point.
But it's been a breakthrough year for Radek Bonk. More responsibility with Alexei Yashin not here, and he's responded.
A lot of the kids playing in this league that come out of the Czech Republic have just blossomed, haven't they? I don't know if it's confidence from the Olympics or what it is, but and the World Junior Championships and the World Championships. But they have a great deal of confidence playing at this level.
Canucks working on this power play now in the final minute of the opening period. Good battle for the puck, won by Laukkanen, and he'll send Vancouver back. Andrew Castles again on the point, and he'll hand it off to Messier, who's had plenty of jump. Here, check that guy's birth certificate. Castles. Now Naslund. Twisting and turning. Canucks have to go to the attack or they'll run out of time here. Juneau will bounce it back down. And just 10 seconds left in the period.
Not often do you see an Ottawa club not work at the same level as the opposition team. And I think you'll see a change after they decide to discuss their first period of play during the intermission. For Vancouver, they played the way we expect.
Trying to track down the Maple Leafs for first in the Northeast. Came into the game 3 behind Toronto with a game in hand and an offside right from the outset of the second period with 28 seconds remaining in the penalty to Andreas Stachel.
We talked with the coaching staff as they're fixing a rut on the ice right now. They had a Cher concert here last night, so any ice surface that's a busy ice surface sometimes that's a little bit of a problem, and now they're fixing it. And we were talking with Jacques Martin before the game. We asked about Sean McEachran, and Sean McEachran would love, I think, to stay here in Ottawa. Another contractual thing, as you see, he's wearing the C on the sweater. The absence of Yashin and Alfredson. Sean McEachran likes it here. It's a good area to raise a family. His wife is a lawyer who's not working right now, as Sean is the man doing the work as far as the job description goes. Their family from Boston, and that's not all that far from Ottawa, so he can get home easily if he wants to, and really enjoys living here in the Ottawa area.
We understand talks are ongoing, but nothing done yet with McEachran.
I think he wants a 4-year, and I think the team will end up giving him a 3-year if it does get solidified. Slow start here to this second period.
You mentioned he's wearing the C. Daniel Alfredson won't play again until Thursday. He will not play in the game Monday afternoon in Florida, and he's scheduled for the next meeting against Tampa on Thursday as they rest a tender knee for Daniel Alfredson.
Without Arvidsson, without Alfredson, the centermen have to get it going here in this game, scoring-wise, and also Ottawa, when they're going, their defensemen jump into the rush, and they can provide some pretty good offense. Look at Bertuzzi on the near side here. Face-off alignment didn't work because they didn't win the draw, but he was 40 feet away from any player as the puck was dropped.
Looked like setting up as a wide receiver. A high stick stops play.
But he came back and got the job done offensively. And I thought for Ottawa in the first period, again, he was the best player in the offensive zone, finding offense.
He has 5 goals in his last 6 games, and Another whistle in the first 48 seconds of this second period. But he did have a long chat with the head coach after the game in Montreal last Saturday. You know, there were some pretty active trade talks going on back in December, and one of the teams interested in Prospal was the Vancouver Canucks, and then Prospal started to get untracked offensively, and you wonder if Ottawa is still interested in moving Prospal. I'm not sure they are.
Not right now. He's moving the puck well. He spent 3.5 years in the minors, and that's one place he doesn't want to go, period, ever again, he said, as he belonged to the Flyer organization. He's got good vision. He can hold on to the puck, make plays, and now he's looking over at the bench to get instructions as to what to do as his team was called for icing. Just 57 seconds into the second period. We've had about 5 stoppages already. So Ottawa will work to try to control the puck, move out of the zone. We'll see if they change. And Vancouver's looking for offense.
Castles pulled it right back, but Naslin's shot doesn't get through. Rob Zaminer up to Prospal. Dineen after it, broken up by Olin. And Naslin will take over. His pass, unable to spring Bertuzzi, slid in on goaltender Tugnutt. Castles intercepts at center, and they'll bring it right back in. Naslin lost control of it, and Prospal headmans to Zaminer.
Chris, that last rush by Ottawa, Phillips was in on the rush. He's trying to jump in on the rush here as Ottawa's just trying to find some offense. If they can get to the neutral zone with the puck, add their D to the rush, maybe they can develop something. But it's not working here. There's no pace at all early in this second period. Talking before the game with Mark Messier about Donald Brashear, and he said, geez, you know what? Some people actually said that goal that he got, which was the winner in Buffalo the other night, was a fluky goal. Messier said that wasn't fluky. If we ever get into the playoffs, Brashear's a tough guy that can play in the playoffs. And that's what you look for. A person that can play on your team like a Chris Simon. That's tough, that can also play in the playoffs and play well. He has a lot of respect for him.
Well, earlier in that game against Buffalo, he's behind the net, tried the old Wayne Gretzky bank pass to himself off the back of the net. So there's a little bit of imagination going on there offensively.
Not take it too far.
But for the first time in his career, he's into double figures in goals. Jovanovski with Messier off the glass and sliding down deep. Trent Klatt is after it. Beaten to the puck by Ledger. Messier's there. Rink wide it goes. Barrett in front. And the tip by Klatt just wide. Another cross-ice pass generating a chance for Vancouver. Messier drops it off. Olin goes in deep. Klatt goes after it. He was held up there by goaltender Tugnutt. Messier along the boards, lost it. And Juneau plays it ahead. McEachern in pursuit of the puck against Olin. Drop pass, Dackel right on, and the rebound scooped out of there by Olin.
Usually Potvin plays deep. That time he was above the goal crease, and I don't think he saw the shot. He played the percentage, went into that little butterfly move. Dackel put it low to the stick side, and Potvin made a real nice save. That's the Senators' first shot here in the second period. Actually a pretty good one. They forced the turnover deep in the zone. You'll see the puck work deep. And look at the harassment along the boards. McEachern turns the puck up to his teammate, and look how far Potvin was out. That's a nice save, percentage play by the goaltender. Sean McEachern created the turnover with good hard work. That's what his team is known for. And Dackel with a good shot.
I think Jacques Martin in recent weeks has been looking for his team to be more physical, especially back on the blue line. And we really didn't see much evidence of that in the first period.
Do you think that shot was on goal? I did. They didn't put it up on the board here. No, I thought it was a pretty good shot. I thought Potvin made a pretty good save.
On the face-off, that shot's on goal, and Potvin smothers any rebound.
Well, from the draw, it'll be interesting to watch Forbes on the left side. He does a job on one of the wingers for the Canucks. Watch Forbes over here work on Brad May. He gets rid of him. That opens up a bit of a shooting lane. And you can see a pretty good job by Oland in front. Well, Oland's back playing the game. We saw him play last year. The All-Star break, they say, really gave him a chance to recharge and get everything in order. And he's been real good since that All-Star break, as have the Senators.
Jacques Martin gave the Senators 6 days off to recharge their batteries.
Because they had a meeting after a game in Buffalo to recommit. They weren't playing that well. And they had a meeting with the team, just their team, about recommitting to come back from the break and really be in a good frame, a mindset to get into the game again. And they come back and played very well as a team.
They were in a bit of a funk where they won 2 of 10. People were worried they weren't going to make the playoffs. A good shot off the target. Now Van Allen hanging around the near side boards. A collision there, and Sokol and Forbes. And Forbes went down. Now it's May tied up, but he got the puck to York. Druken over the line. Redden got a piece of him. And a penalty is coming up against the Ottawa Senators as York and Forbes go to the glass. And will scrum up. But the penalty is coming up against Ottawa. So Vancouver to the power play for the 3rd time when we come back.
Play for Vancouver, and that's a high number this early in the game for Vancouver against a good team that doesn't take many penalties.
Second fewest penalties taken in the NHL, the Ottawa Senators. Naslund, the goal scorer on the power play, gave it up, and Juneau to the line off Oland, and Dackel knocked it out. Once again, Castles and Oland, the point man. Platt, Messier, and Naslund up front. And here's Marcus Naslund, a nice back pass to Messier. In front, Platt tied up. Naslund tried to feed the point and gave it up to Laukkonen. Jani Laukkonen rolling it in. The penalty-killing unit changes for Ottawa.
And Vancouver's missing Shuberov. He's gone to the locker room, to the dressing room. I don't know if it's a medical problem or not.
Oland hanging on to Rob Zamaner. That got a rise out of the fans here at the Corel Center. Zamaner stays on it. And now the Canucks power play gets control. Bertuzzi out now with 54 seconds to go. And after an impressive first power play, the Senators penalty-killing unit starting to take over. Dackel stops a rush at center. And Bertuzzi tumbles on the play. Dackel feeds it across. Jason York with a blast wide of the net. Now Bertuzzi starts back. Here's Bertuzzi, one hand on the stick, lost it. Following up is Druken. Andrew Castles, rink wide, Hoggood shot off a skate to the side boards. Juneau plays it across. York steps up, stopped there by Hoggood. But down to 15 seconds left in the power play. Bertuzzi attacking, but it's offside.
Brashear was changing for Castles, but where Brashear jumped over the boards, and it was on the inside of the Ottawa zone, inside the blue line, so the offside was called. As you look at Wade Redden earlier, I had mentioned that Phillips was jumping into the play. I meant to say Redden. Redden's dad is here, as you saw Scott Russell talking to him during the intermission. You know, his dad played the old Western Pro League, and when he gets into Ottawa here, he gets with some of the guys and gets on the ice surface and plays. And one of the first times his dad was here playing with the guys, somebody took a shot, he went down without equipment to block the shot. I mean, that once you get it in your system, it's hard to get it out. Oh, boy.
I think he was in the Detroit Red Wings organization.
Yeah. He showed up this last time with his own skates and the old two blades and all that. Training staff changed them for him. Did a nice job. Good penalty kill here.
Barron a shot, rebound, scores! And there's Donald Brashear with goal number 11.
Now it's a rebound on a big shot from the blue line, and Brashear went right to where he's supposed to be with those instincts we were talking about. Face off in the neutral zone, and you can see how Hendrickson went forward. Nice play, working over Laukkonen. And the Canucks pinched that side off. Murray Barron's shot, and all alone was Donald Brashear. Both defensemen, Salo and Laukkonen, I think, ended up on the same side of the ice. So Brashear just stayed where he should be. The puck came to him. Salo and Laukkonen were both over to the right side of Ronnie Tugnut. Brashear stayed on his side of the ice, and the puck came to him off the pad of Tugnut. So 2 power play goals for the Canucks.
Well, that power play didn't look like it was going anywhere, but they scored with 5 seconds remaining in the penalty. And the Senators in a hole here. They come back. A pass for Hossa misfired. Prosper along with Hossa and McKecker as Jacques Martin looks for some offense as his team's in a 2-0 hole. You're watching Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Labatt. Murray Barron, the lone assist. And the Vancouver Canucks own a 2-0 lead. They have not won in Ottawa. Vancouver has not in 6 years. Trying to change that here this afternoon. Klatt, Messier, and Naslund go back to work offensively. There's Klatt behind the net, watched by Kravchuk. Messier along the boards. Naslund off the boards. Takes the shot, hit Klatt. But the Canucks are winning all the battles right now.
A pretty good cycle going there. They couldn't get their shot through to Ron Tugnutt.
Now Kravchuk starts back for Ottawa. He'll send it in as his Senator teammates change. Brad May has it. And he'll drop it behind the net where Oland waits for it. There's Dineen shoveling it back along the end board. Crossbow behind the net. Zamaner in front, reaching for the pass. And the Canucks knock it to the line. Kept in by Redden. Here's Crossbow. Awkward shot.
Hope they stay for a long time. Well, it's wonderful to meet you as Felix Potvin, who's not far from here, made a great save. Thanks for this, and good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Ted Saunders, one of the original Senators, guys.
And we'll second the sentiments of Mr. Saunders. It's that kind of tradition that really makes this such a vibrant hockey area.
Did you see the people on the canal today skating? Wow. What a save by Potvin. He robbed Prospel as the Prospel line got deep enough with Zomner and Dineen on the wings to set up maybe their best scoring chance of the game. Felix Potvin moved across. And since the All-Star break, Felix Potvin's been pretty good too. Now you see the puck along the boards. There's the pass in front. Potvin got across. Catching glove was above his goal pads, and he stacked the pads and made a great save. Dineen helps force the turnover. The pass in front. And there's a good quick shot, but not high enough by Prospel. The goaltender Potvin with his best save in this game to this point. That's huge. He's only had, as you see, 9 shots, or 8 shots, pardon me, 8 saves. But the Canucks with a 2-0 lead. He had to come up with a big one there.
And until this afternoon, the Senators have really been rolling offensively. They've scored 4 or more in their last 4 games. But are stuck in neutral offensively so far today. Bonk will try and change that. Phillips follows a shot right on, and Potvin covers up again.
Did the Canucks relax a little bit? They got the 2-0 lead, and the Ottawa Senators digging in. They get a couple of chances. This last one on the rush. Phillips moves in. He's got Bonk with him. Shot on goal, and the Canucks do a good job taking people away from the front of the net. Matt Cook came right in and bombed into Bonk and got him away from the net. That was a good play. So no rebound at all.
Talking about Chris Phillips' move.
Big and strong. You know, he gets towards the front of the net. Try and move it. It's almost impossible. And his hands are soft enough to be able to score goals. He scored a huge goal against the Rangers late in the game here in Ottawa about 3 weeks ago.
I think that was the first game up for him. Yeah. He said, boy, this is easy. I might score 50 up here. As you know, for the Senators, left wing feed, McEachern tees it up. Wide of the net on the short side, Ledyard. Dackel play it in for McEachern, who's deep. Dackel through the slot. Back it goes, and Kravchuk eye high. Caught by Potvin.
3 times in a row now, the Senators have gotten through the neutral zone with some pretty good flow. The first time they got through, they forechecked and set up Prospel. The second time was that Phillips slap shot, and then this is the 3rd time through the neutral zone. Here they get deep, and Kravchuk is going to be the left defenseman, and they end up forgetting about him up there. And he finds a puck, a high shot. Potvin looks real sharp right now. Not much work, but real sharp to this point. Prospel's line back on now with Dineen and Zomner, and they had a glorious scoring chance their last shift. Prospel does a lot of talking before faceoffs to set up his line mates to tell him what he's going to do.
That faceoff won by the veteran Messier. Barron neatly head-manning it to Naslund. Messier with Hendrickson going to the net. Picked up there by Salo. Messier follows. Tried to scoop it through for Naslund, who was well covered. And the Senators will start back. Here's Dineen firing it in. And he'll give chase against Barron. bump Barron, and that allows Prospel to take over. Zamaner with a penalty coming up against the Canucks. Tugnutt going to the bench for the extra attacker. And it will be played there by Barron. And a penalty being assessed on the play. It looks like Marcus Naslund heading off.
That Prospel line, at least Prospel, a centerman, stays on to work the power play.
Second power play of the afternoon for the Senators. Juneau out there with Prospel and McEachern. York and Redden on the point. That shot blocked by Strudwick. Now Prospel regains possession for the Senators. McEachern parks in front. Juneau hangs on. Messier watching. Shot blocked by Strudwick. York tied up by Messier, and Strudwick, good shift, gets it down the ice.
Yeah, 2 blocks for Strudwick, plus getting the puck down the zone. They'll miss Barron on the penalty kill. As you see, the youngster on the ice right now.
Sopel, and he knocked down the pass.
He had 4 short shifts during the first period, but he's needed the penalty kill here in the second with Barron in the box.
Jovanovski spots some room, and he'll get it down. Long change in this second period, too, so the youngster might be out there for a while. Sopel has it roll by him deep in the zone. Jovanovski back, but now Hossa picks up the loose puck. Ottawa sets it up. Kravchuk at the point. Takes the return feed and fires right on. Loose puck, they jam. Still loose for Radek Bullock. Back out Kravchuk. There's Sammy Salo, and it's blocked nicely there as Sopel went down. Now Chubarov, who's back out there for Vancouver's lost his stick. Kravchuk fired, and that went off Castles. Bit him on the ankle, and he's in some difficulty.
Well, that was something with Sopel in front of the net, working with big Chris Phillips. Wow, what a battle that was.
And look at them counter now, and Hendrickson overskated the puck on the pass from Jovanovski. Well, they had Castles down, Chubarov without a stick, and a defenseman playing his first NHL game this season, and they managed to hold the fort as Vancouver gets back to full strength.
Well, Sopel was asked to do a lot, especially with Phillips in front. I thought he did a pretty good job on him. Also blocked a shot.
8:21 to go, second period. Still no header on Hockey Day in Canada. The Vancouver Canucks leading the Ottawa Senators 2-0. Toronto and Montreal. Calgary and Edmonton still to come later tonight on Hockey Night in Canada. Here's Messier to the attack. Swooping in behind the net. Olin looked like he was moving up, and now at the point as he backtracked, knuckles it in wide of the net. Messier tries to center. Redden there. And the Senators break out. Zamaner's pass picked off by Naslund. Off the bench came Druken, feeding it for Klatt. He bumps into Jason York, who takes over, the Nepean native. Got it to Wade Redden. Up on left wing, Van Allen cross ice, knocked down there by Brad May.
That hit with Klatt. Klatt went to the bench, and he's hurting.
That goes off the skate of Hossa out to center.
Klatt had some kind of injury to the face after that hit with York.
There's Harry York. Sending it back into the Ottawa zone. Brad May forechecking with York, and he just missed the open man in front, Druken, who sends it in wide of the net. May there with York. Druken goes in front, but the pass intercepted by Prospel. Ahead to McEachern, and on the right side, it's Hossa. Prospel followed up. Couldn't reach it as McEachern was loose in front.
And now the Canucks lost Brad May. He fell down backwards, did a somersault, and he has a leg injury. So this shift here, or 2 shifts, they lose Klatt to an injury to his face, and now May.
Marian Hossa drills the shot in.
Shots are 8-2 this period in favor of Ottawa. They've slowly taken it over. Klatt, you can see, was clipped on the end of the nose here, above, or down by the bridge of his nose. He's just shaking a little bit. They're trying to close it, and there's May. He's can't quite figure out what happened. He was backing out of the zone. You see him right in here. He's backing out of the zone, and he locked legs. He didn't see it. He fell back and twisted his left leg under his body as he fell down. And he had a lot of problems getting to the bench. See him backing up, and all of a sudden he clips a leg. And see, ooh, man, that was an awkward little play, wasn't it? So two players within about a minute of each other. Brad May missed 13 games due to a knee injury earlier in the season. So, and Vancouver's had the one shot by Barron, the rebound, and Brashear scored. That's the only two shots Vancouver's had here in the second period, as Ottawa has slowly gotten their offense going a little bit. Felix Potvin's gotten stronger and stronger with a little more work.
Potvin with 13 saves so far. Joey Juneau, Radek Bonk, and Andreas Dackel on the ice. Jacques Martin has tinkered a bit now with his line combinations. There's a shot just tipped wide by Bonk. Bonk and Juneau usually on separate lines, getting a chance to play together. Dackel into forecheck, Jovanovski. Up the boards, and they get it out to center ice. Here's Hendrickson. Darby Hendrickson drops for Castles. He looks cross ice. Neil Bertuzzi with that high pass. Bertuzzi got control. Castles, and that deflects high. Dackel and Bertuzzi takes a run at him as the puck ends up at center ice. Hendrickson rolls it back down into the Ottawa zone. 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, second period. Canucks protecting a 2-0 lead. Chris Phillips moves in for Ottawa. In front off Prospo line.
The host has been moved to the Prospo line here. Chris, he's playing right side with Prospo now. The last shift at Bonk and Juneau, as you mentioned, two centermen on the line.
Marian Hossa scored his 21st against Tampa the other night, shooting his age now. The 21-year-old got a chance there and just shot wide. Flat along the boards, battling with Prosper. Phillips moved up, but Klatt calmly flips it ahead. Messier's loose. 2-on-1 with Daslin. Messier in, holds on, and Tucknut with a nice club stop.
What a pass by Klatt. An alley-oop job up to Messier to set up the 2-on-1. And Tucknut comes up big. Glove hand save.
Ron Tucknut's made a couple of dandies so far.
That play by Klatt. An alley-oop job. Beautiful.
Went down to the minors. Some thought his NHL career might have been over. Worked on his offense, and he's played extremely well since the recall December 31st. Now Matt Cook goes after Tucknut, leads the net. He gets bumped. Puck is loose. Messier with the open net. Can't get it by Salo. Strudwick shot right on. And the rebound collected by Salo as Tucknut collects himself in the Ottawa net. What did you think about Cook getting a piece of Tucknut there? I wondered if he'd get some attention from the Senators after that collision. Back in come the Senators. Denis. There's a shot. Zamaner looking for a rebound, but the puck smothered by Felix Potvin as it opens up a little in the second period.
Ron Tucknut.
Tucknut with 15 saves in the game, but down 2-0, beaten on a couple of power play markers. Mark Messier assisted on the first goal, and we're told that is his 2000th professional point. When you combine Stanley Cup playoffs and his WHA totals, along with 1,694 regular season National Hockey League points. So a spectacular milestone achieved today by a guy who has a few of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. 6 times. In 20 seasons, 100 or more points. The legend continues, doesn't it?
You know, it's not something the Canucks are comfortable talking about, but you wonder about Messier getting another chance with a team that could win this year. A chance there for the Senators.
Phillips on the rebound.
Kravchuk shot. Traffic in front. Hossa parked right on the doorstep, and the Canucks get it out.
Ottawa's not playing Miller or Forbes or Van Allen or Zamner very much. They're just trying to play their offensive guys. And that last little flurry, Felix Potvin was terrific.
Kravchuk starts them off. Hossa the drop pass to Bonk. Zamner's in front. Watched by Jovanovski. Bonk keeps it in. Hounded there by Matt Cook, who takes it away. And Cook is upended in front of the Ottawa bench. Bashir unable to keep it in. Crossbow back to the attack for Zamanin. Here's Dineen. Take the drop pass. A shot blocked again by Strudwick. Looked pretty good on defense.
That's 3 this period, at least, that he's blocked. Zamanin does get a shift here, but Jacques Martin during the second period, down by a couple, has tried very hard to get his offensive players on the ice. Forwards, that is, as much as possible. Different combinations, just trying to find offense, And they have developed a couple of good scoring chances, and Potvin has been there. Phillips had the last good chance, and Felix was there. Some talk about Felix Potvin, Chris, about, you know, he's going to have to, as he develops into Vancouver's #1 goaltender along with Garth Snow, is work on his strength. If he's going to play a lot of games for them next year as their #1 goaltender, you've really got to be physically strong, especially with the travel Vancouver has, and some talk about him working during the offseason in the weight room and really building himself up and getting ready for a long season, good season.
Second straight Saturday where he has shone. Ottawa wins the draw. Right to Potvin. Oops. Tried to play it ahead. McEachern jostled in the corner. Redden gets it ahead. Crossbow, and he shot that 6 feet wide. Hendrickson chops at it, but it's kept in by Redden. Went sprawling to keep it in. Slides it in front. Redden a backhand wide as he moved into the attack.
That's what Felix Potvin wishes he held onto the puck for the faceoff. Messier and Prospel had the draw. Prospel won. It was a good high shot. Felix Potvin had it, but he wanted to keep the play moving. His pass didn't work, and all of a sudden some pressure by the Senators, and the fans get into it. It was a good effort by the Prospel line, and again, I think Prospel's line hasn't been too bad. When he's been out there, they've had some pretty good offense. So Messier stays on the ice for the draw. Darby Hendrickson also stays out there. We've talked about that a little bit in the first period. Almost every defensive draw, if Messier doesn't take it, Hendrickson does. If Messier gets tossed out, Hendrickson's there as insurance. They're trying to protect whatever they've got going for them here and don't want to take any foolish move and not having two centermen on the ice, and percentage-wise maybe lose a chance at getting the puck back.
Mark Crawford almost approaching this like a playoff game.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's that critical again. 12 points out of the playoffs right now. A couple of games in hand, and they're holding on to the hope they've got 4 with LA left. There's a chance at Potvin. Rob Chris Phillips, who looks skyward. So Felix Potvin shutting the door in this second period as the Ottawa Senators press to the attack. Long pass behind Malk, sliding down, race for it. Malk and Olin. Olin got there first with 54.2 seconds left.
Well, Phillips has had 3 good scoring chances here in the second period. Now, the last one may have been his best one. The original shot, as you see Phillips on the puck, he'll go to the net. The original shot was blocked by Murray Barron, but Phillips got loose. There was those quick hands, and he was covered. I think it was Olin that was on him, and he still was available to get he got his stick loose and got the shot. Watch him get picked up. Olin's on him, and there's those quick hands. That was a backhand flip shot, and Potvin with a good save. That's why Phillips is playing up front. He's huge. He can get to the net, skates well enough to do it, and has real good hands for those tight, quick plays like we just saw.
Shots are now 12-4 in favor of Ottawa in this second period. However, they've yet to beat Felix Potvin. Castles and Juneau won by the Senators. And Laukkonen starts them away. Ledger. Pass broken up by Naslund. Now Ledger got it in deep. Took a chop. And Ledger in some discomfort. He'll go right back at it though. Kept in by Dackel at the line. Now it goes to Ledger's shot. And that one hit Potvin. In front, Juneau. Backhand scores!
26.1 seconds to go in the second period. Ledger was chopped to his hand, and I thought he was going to go off. Instead, he stayed on the ice and kept the play alive. So there's Ledger keeping it alive as he moves across, keeps it in. Ledger there, keeps it alive again and throws the puck towards the net. May have hit Potvin on the mask. And then there's the backhand shot underneath the goaltender by Juneau. And we have a game that has changed complexion completely.
How about Jani Laukkanen moving in to keep the pressure on?
Both Ledger and Laukkanen did a great job to keep the play alive. Ledger goes by the nickname from his teammates of Old Yeller. Old Yeller, man, pretty good play there.
Didn't think he was too excited to hear that from his old teammate John Davidson earlier today.
That's from his teammates. Actually, I think it was York that gave him the nickname, and they had some fun with it. He's not a young man anymore regarding hockey. I remember his first year was with the Rangers. So this whole thing has changed.
Play goals have a 2-1 lead here into the third period. Juneau, Dackel, and McEachern start up front for Ottawa against the Messier line with Platt and Naslund with the puck out of play.
The Messier line had 7 shots in the first period, only 1 in the second. That was Mark on that partial breakaway, basically a 2-on-1. And remember that save? It was 2-0 at the time. And Tugnutt made a glove save on Messier. Well, the score would have been maybe 3-0 at the time. Instead, after Tugnutt made the save late in the period, Old Yeller was able to keep the puck in the zone. Grant Ledger. And that eventually led to the Dackel goal. And we have a completely changed game, I would think, because of that goal.
Senators trying to come from behind to move within a point to Toronto in the Northeast race. With the Leafs getting set to take on the Montreal Canadiens in the next game in our triple header. There's Marcus Naslund, who opened the scoring. Past Messier, it slides in deep, and Naslund will go after it, along with help from Trent Platt. Along the boards, it comes loose, and McEachern starts back. There's Sean McEachern stopped at the line, and Naslund will turn ahead to Murray Barron, who just redirects it deep into the Ottawa zone as both teams go to fresh troops for the second minute of this third period. There's Matt Cook picking off a pass, and he'll play it in and go get it. The native of Belleville, Ontario, in on the forecheck. Radek Bonk can't get it by Matt Cook behind the net. Now Hossa bumped there by Druken, and Salo has to turn back. Rink wide Kravchuk, and back on this near side. Hossa fires a laser that goes high off the glass. There's Bonk working the boards. Hossa behind the net, trying to put it in front. Potvin, and Brashear starts back with Druken. Here's Donald Brashear, and that shot off Kravchuk into the seats.
Take a look. Ottawa climbs back into the game, trailing by 1 here early in the third.
Roscoe's been dangerous this afternoon. He's out there against Castles, and from the drop, Naslund nearly got a shot away, but Kevin Dineen starts back. There's Prospel along the boards. Comes up with it again, shovels the backhand in front off Barron, and now played by Castles off the boards and out to center. 18-17 the shots, favoring the Senators. They bounced back in that department. They were outshot 13-5 in the first, but they were better 14-4 in the second period.
Well, how many times Brashear has scored a power play goal in his career? First one this season. I don't have that answer.
We're going to get it for you.
Thanks.
Jovanovski's pass knocked down, and there's McEachern. He got crossed up with the linesman there, and back the other way comes Bertuzzi. And the play is offside at the Ottawa line.
Both teams have every skater back. Klatt and May were both clipped during the second period for Vancouver. Bertuzzi's had a powerful game. He's extremely solid when he plays the power game. He's developed into a pretty good power forward for this hockey club. We saw him draw a power play in the first period that led to a power play goal. So the two teams to this point, Vancouver starting this third period, go with 4 lines, Chris. All of their forwards, I believe, have seen the ice now.
Shufarov on the ice for Vancouver with York and May.
Hendrickson's usually the winger, but I think Hendrickson's only been used for face-off primarily in this game. It's amazing. He's a face-off specialist. Try to win the draw and get off the ice.
face-offs and then on the penalty kill. He
yes.
hasn't been that busy in that department this afternoon.
Especially with Schaefer down with the injury. He needs some good work on the penalty kill.
There's Dackel back in, lost control of it, and May hits it out. Bonk brought it back in, offside.
Chabarov's been asked to do a little more penalty kill. Even Messier a little more. They're trying to make it 10 on the road here. And they have had a gallant game, I think, here this afternoon in Ottawa through 2 periods.
But you know they're going to be tested in this third period.
Well, you almost get the feeling that Felix Potvin will have to be their best player in the third period if they're to win.
Nice play by Klatt to wipe out the icing, but then the centering pass picked off, and Phillips has Hossa on right wing. Hossa with a hot shot, rebound loose. Jovanovski tied up his man in front. Hossa, where is it? Strudwick was down, and Naslund came back to help out, and Messier just taps it in the center, and yes,
Jovanovski's down. Hossa's had a much better third period here. Through 2 periods, he'd only had 1 shot. He's attempted at least 3 here early in the second period. In fact, his last shot may have caught Felix Potvin on the face mask. Then everybody battled near the side of the net, and Jovanovski unable to get up to his feet. So there he is working with Bonk. And he went down after Hossa had taken the shot. He goes back at Bonk, knocks him down, stays on top of Bonk. And then there he feels something. It just sharp pain just hit him, and he just bent over at the waist. And he's still down, unable to get up. Now up on 1 leg, now 2. He skates towards the bench on his own. Hossa with a good start to this third period. Chris, Ottawa's gone with 3 lines so far, not using a 4th as they trail by 1. Vancouver has used all their players, all their forwards. You know, Hossa's got a younger brother playing junior hockey in Portland, and his younger brother staying in exactly the same family's home that he stayed in when he played out there when he was younger.
Marcel Marion is riding a 6-game point streak coming into today's game. And good to see Jovanovski go off under his own steam. Approaching the 4-minute mark of the third period. 2-1 the score. There's the youngster Harold Druken over to Donald Brashear, who has 3 career power play goals after.
3, thanks. Learn something every day. Thank you very much.
Mattias Ohlund back in. Ohlund, the game high 21 minutes plus through 2 periods of play. Making up for all the lost time during the year when he was out. Good work, Howardson. I think we underestimate the impact the Ohlund injury had on this Vancouver Hockey Club. He's a frontline blue liner.
He had 27 shifts through 2 periods, by far more than anybody else. Jovanovski's back on the ice now. Short rest, and there he is.
Jovanovski has the puck.
Certainly good news.
Great pass up on the tape to Bertuzzi. Quickly, Junot came across defensively. Bertuzzi played it behind the net. Naslund couldn't get it out in front. And the goal's going for Ottawa. Junot starts back. Flips it in deep, and Dackel in pursuit of the puck against Ohlund, but it's an icing call against Ottawa.
Dackel and his club trying to force the issue here. Take a look at some of the injuries you were talking about, Chris. So it's not only physical, it's mental. Regier, the general manager of Buffalo, he's saying there, it catches up.
On the flip side is Ohlund. In behind the net, tied up by McEachern. How about Washington? A team that has been plagued with injuries over the years, almost injury-free this season, with a different approach.
Different approach. George McPhee runs a team, brought in a group, and I believe they're from Winnipeg. And they did a complete study of the organization. Toronto's also done the same thing, and they made some ideas of changes. Change this, maybe change that, maybe change this, maybe. And George McPhee implemented some of these thoughts, and Washington is on an incredible run right now with the goalie stopping the puck and then scoring some goals. Look at Mark Crawford. He's got his players on the ice, they're ready to drop the puck, and he wants the linesman to drop it, even though the Ottawa team is still changing.
He's got a plane to catch. He's going home tonight, and he'd love to go home with a win to wrap up the road trip
for one game, and then they go to LA for another one.
Yeah, that's strange because then they've got LA. They play Anaheim and then come home, and they play LA the next week back in LA. Yeah.
Messier here went over to a linesman and the referee, and I'm not quite sure what they're talking about here, but he's trying to get the attention of somebody as he gets ushered over towards the faceoff dot. I don't know what that's about. Now he'll try to draw this back to his left as he turns his left hand over, and if he draws it back quickly, he's got to have his defenseman, who just gets into position now. That's Barron, and Barron will go behind the net if they win the puck. Nope.
Salo stepped up. That shot missed on the short side. And now Oland off the glass and out, and Messier giving chase against Bonk. Check back to get it. Salo plays it ahead. And here come the Senators. Chris Phillips, a long shot off the blocker of Potvin. Jovanovski showing no ill effects of that injury a little earlier in the period. Messier spots Naslund, rolled in front. Platt almost came up with it. Messier along the boards. Back into the corner. Prospel and Platt. They collide. Platt went down. And the Senators get possession. Out they come at center with Zamaner. Now Jovanovski. And he flicks that over the glass, out of play. 6:15 into the third. 2-1.
Phillips during the second period, but the Vancouver Canucks have rotated 5 defensemen here in the third.
Prospel, quick shot. And they'll have another face-off in the Vancouver zone. 23 shots now in the game for the Senators.
I wonder if Hendrickson just sits on the bench and studies the other team's centerman for what he has to do with face-offs. Felix Potvin having a big goaltender. He knew when Andy was on the top of his game, and that was plenty. He was on the top of the goal crease.
There's Hendrickson doing the job again on the face-off and leading the rush. Matthias Ohlund. Chubarov rolling it in, and Cook is after it. Gets a pick from Brashear and threw it across. Now Chubarov after it against Zamaner. Puck came loose. Senators on it, and Dineen out at center. Laukkanen jumps up on the play, tees it up, and that shot caromed off somebody at the side of the net, shoveled away by Potvin.
Look at Dineen work. He's starting to get into the face of people like Barron. When Dineen works like that, he's very effective.
Both teams making changes as we pass the 7-minute mark of the third period.
Van Allen's first shift of the third here.
With Dackel and McKecker.
Juneau's usually the centerman on this line.
Does that mean Martin's going to come back with Bonk and Juneau together?
I think you're right.
York at the point. Here's Van Allen's shot. That sailed high. Jovanovski got a close shave. York again. Steps up, shoots, and maybe off the toe of Potvin. Redden at the point. Pressure from the Senators. That was deflected by York wide of the net, and the puck to the line and out. You can feel the Senators surge here, however. Starting to take the play to the Canucks, and the crowd appreciating it. But here's Jovanovski working his way back for Vancouver. Trent Platt overskates the puck, and Salo up the boards. Phillips reached for it. Messier's got it. Matthias Ohlund up ahead, across ice, pass for Naslund. Marcus Naslund in deep for Messier. Platt in front. Messier tried to get it to him. Well, Messier has it again. Leads it for Platt. Bodied by Bonk. Showing you that strength he has at center. And now Big Phillips on the left side. Flips it out.
Platt is strong, but Bonk out-muscled him along the boards. One reason why Messier loves having Platt on the wall with him, because he can do that work along the boards.
And there's Platt loose on the right side. Winds up with a shot right on. He had been tied up just seconds earlier deep in the Vancouver zone. Here come the Canucks, or the Senators, and Zamaner lost it. Quickly Druken back. Druken a shot from well out. Now Hendrickson in on the forecheck. But the Senators come away with it. Oh, boy! Took out Hendrickson as he missed the Senator. Now Laukkanen moves in. Gets it across. Here's a chance. Off Potvin. Big arm save. The puck drilled to the line. May trying to get it out, and does.
It all started, like you mentioned, Chris, with Prospal about to get hammered, but he avoided the hit by May, and the Senators were able to move up ice. Wow, that Prospal line's been pretty good.
Little Houdini routine by Prospal to save his life, but the line, and now here comes McEachern. Sean McEachern to tackle, and Potvin stayed his ground on the short side. Boy, the Senators coming in waves now at Vancouver.
And again, Van Allen gets the shift. And Joey Juneau does not. And I'm wondering if Juneau maybe has a problem. I'm going to try and figure out if he's on the bench. They had all the players there to start this third period. And I think there is a player missing, Chris, at the Ottawa bench. And I wonder if it's Juneau. All right, watch this. Prospal's on the puck. May wants to hammer him. A little pull. Oh, man. And May ends up running into Darby. So that takes two players out of the play. And the Senators moved up and had the shot. There's McEachern now working with Dackel and Van Allen. A good little shovel shot by Dackel on the pass from McEachern. That didn't look like much of a save, but it was a beauty. A beauty by the goaltender Potvin. So Sean Van Allen getting a lot of ice here in the third.
There's a shot just ricocheting wide, and play has been stopped.
And nets off the mooring to the right side of Potvin. Van Allen won the draw, went to the net, that set up the shot and all kinds of traffic. Juneau's gone with a hip flexor, will not return. So that's why Van Allen is taking his place. Watch Van Allen win the draw and go to the net. And Redden just with a wrist shot, all kinds of traffic. Potvin well out, but the puck caromed wide, and the net knocked off the mooring. Van Allen is an excellent face-off man. Excellent face-off man. He now goes up against Messier, and he's rested. Van Allen played just over 5 minutes through 2 periods, so he's got lots of energy, I would think, for this third period.
That graphic illustrates how the territorial play has shifted in this game. Canucks hanging on to this 1-goal advantage. Trying to wrap up a 5-game road trip above 500 at 3-2. Nice pass ahead for Dackel, scooting in. Dackel threaded it across. And now takes Oland out. Naslund couldn't get it by McEachern. Dackel back up on the puck. Fencing with Naslund. McEachern along the boards. Dackel away with it. Shot blocked by Oland. And they get it out again. 9 minutes. 20 seconds remaining in the third period. Vancouver Canucks looking for just their 10th win of the year away from Vancouver. That was Matt Cook with the heavy hit.
That would have been icing. He negated the icing and had a wraparound try.
And now a loose puck deep in the zone. Drukin takes a look, sees who's open. Went for Brashear, and the pass ends up on the stick to Chris Phillips to Hossa. Marian Hossa can't get by Jovanovski. Phillips crunched there by Brashear. Hossa battling with Jovanovski, who sprawls to get it to Matt Cook. And Cook in turn goes down to get it out. Canucks playing with some desperation as they try to ward off the oncoming Senators.
You almost sense both teams are playing with desperation. Ottawa desperately needs a goal. And Vancouver doing their best in their own zone. Their defensemen are big. Their defensemen have blocked a lot of shots.
There's Brad May back on the ice. It's a good thing he hit Hendrickson in that last play. Otherwise, he might have been down in the Ottawa Senators dressing room. Jani Laukkanen retreats. Off Zamaner, and play's been stopped. I think that hit somebody at the Ottawa bench.
Start the workout this Tuesday, and we increase the workout every day and feel better and better.
What are the chances that you could make it back for the playoffs? Is that a realistic goal, Magnus?
Yeah, I think so, and I have the hope to come back, and I work hard to coming back. It's going to be tough days, but we hope so.
Boy, is it ever good to see you walking around. Good luck to you, Magnus.
Thank you very much.
Guys?
Well, no question, the Senators miss a guy with that presence.
Just like the Dallas Stars with Yuri Lettman, who just had ankle surgery again. I mean, these people are underrated players, even though we know how good they are defensively. Teams need a player like Lettinen or a player like Arvidsson.
Here's a chance for the Canucks. Messier cross ice. It didn't get across to Marcus Naslund.
That was a good back check by Zamner. Good hard work back check. Zamner was the captain of his Pee-wee team. The coach said captain, yeah, because he worked harder than anybody else.
There's a 2-on-1. McEachern went back to Van Allen, and it was broken up by Olin. Big play there by Olin. Shots are 24-6 Ottawa since the end of the first period. That's how Ottawa's taking control, except on the scoreboard. Dackel back in. McEachern couldn't turn away from Olin. And Bertuzzi to the line gets it out.
Those Ottawa shots have been hard work shots. We're not seeing Vancouver give up 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s. They've been hard work shots. It almost looks like they're going to have to really earn the goal as opposed to finding a 2-on-1.
Castle's quick shot, pad save, Tugnut. Bertuzzi following up. Castle's hit along the boards and Kravchuk's away.
The three guys back again for Vancouver.
Bonk and Hossa attacking, and another hot shot by Bonk, handled by Felix Potvin.
That was Brad May that was back helping the defense out. You're not seeing odd man rushes.
This Vancouver team has really tightened up defensively. 22nd in that category in the league, but they have been stingy for the most part on this trip. Good play by Strudwick there as he knocked down Hossa. Gets a reaction from the crowd, but nothing wrong with the play.
Oland, Jovanovski, Strudwick, Barron, they haven't tired. Big defense who haven't tired. They've been pressured now for 2 periods.
And again, third game in 4 days, 5th in 8. And Mark Crawford's been playing a short bench for much of the trip. Here's a chance. Ledger, Potvin lost it. Look behind him. Rospel now. Back it goes. Ledger shot off the blocker to the corner. The pressure increasing here. Can Vancouver hold off Ottawa?
That first shot on Potvin dropped from a deflection, at least 1.5 feet. He expected to catch it. Instead of hit his left pad, almost down by his knee. That was on the ice.
Still 2-1, under 5 minutes to go. You're watching Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Labatt Blue.
Draw, and he wins it again.
Messier got it by the defenseman, and out they break 2-on-1 with Hendrickson. He dropped it back, and it comes back out to center, and they get caught. Here's McEachern. Olin, what a play defensively to take the puck away from Sean McEachern, who's got it again. Knocked down by Murray Barron, and Messier turns away.
Again, Olin made the defensive play, then some more pressure, and Barron made the defensive play. These Vancouver defense have been fabulous. It was a 3-on-2 for Vancouver. The puck was turned over, and Olin was right there where he should be. Boy, they've been good. In their own zone, they've had pressure put on, big-time pressure by the Canucks.
Again, Ottawa trying to cut into that Toronto lead in the Northeast. But they're playing catch-up right now against Vancouver. And look at the Canucks work. Bertuzzi knocks down his man, Naslund there, to flip it back in. Under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Sammy Salo, a long backhand deep. Hossa going after it. And a race for it, won by Strudwick, who was bumped on the play, and after the whistle, they'll exchange shoves. Nothing going to come of that.
So far, he had the game winner in the 2-1 win in Buffalo a couple of nights ago. They lead 2-1, does Vancouver now.
A lot of similarities between the last 2 Vancouver games. Looking for Shear behind the net. Off the boards, into the slot, backhand block. And Hossa missed on that little tap pass to Chris Phillips. Set back in offside, 3:21 to go. Ottawa out shooting Vancouver 33-21. False start on the face-off in the center ice area.
Dineen jumped the gun a little bit on the right side. Dineen now has been playing with Zamner as the wingers with Prospel all through this game. All of a sudden now Van Allen is out there. So I think you're going to see Prospel fit in with McEachern and Dackel probably on the next shift. And maybe even Dackel get moved for more of an offensive guy. As Ottawa's Jacques Martin, their head coach, is just trying to find some real good percentage chance to get the tying goal with 3:20 to go in the third.
Jacques seen his team do a lot of good things in this third period, but unable to cut into the lead so far.
Well, Tuesday against Carolina, they had 24 shots in the third period. That's a team record for Ottawa.
Now Zauner spins it in behind the net. Canucks are on it, however. And Murray Barron looks cross ice. There's Messier. And he'll shoot it into the Vancouver zone. Under 3 minutes to go as the Canucks continue to protect this lead. Ledger up ahead off McEachern. Jovanovski stops him there. Trent Platt. McEachern after him. Andrew Castles over to Strudwick, who's had a strong afternoon. Now Ledger to an open wing, and Jovanovski is going to be on it.
Now you have Crossbow with Dackel and McEachern. There should be some pretty good offense here for Ottawa if they can get it going.
Redden tries to start it, but Castles is there to break it up.
Yeah, Vancouver skating well here late.
Now Bertuzzi by one, a shot, rebound loose, and tucked that down to rob Darby Hendrickson with what would have been the backbreaker.
You know, Bertuzzi's not a give-and-go type player. He's a player that can make something out of nothing because of his power, and he showed it there. He almost got hammered, instead got his body through the check, got the shot. Watch here. Ledger is trying to give him the hip check, and he kept his balance, got the shot. And there you see Hendrickson putting the puck into the chest of Tugnutt. So Ronnie Tugnutt comes up big late in the period here. And Bertuzzi showing that power. That's why people are talking about him all throughout the league. Pardon me, as he's becoming a pretty good power forward for the Canucks. 2:04 to go now in the third period. And another face-off in the Ottawa zone. Both goaltenders have had a very strong afternoon.
Harold Druken now, the youngster, out for the Canucks with 2 minutes to go. Murray Barron steps up. He fires just wide. Oland on the other side. In deep, there's Brad May. Like to keep the puck there if he could, but Ottawa starts back. Marian Hossa's loose on right wing. Hossa in, puts on the brakes, tried to get it to York, and Brashear breaks it up. And York retreats. The confidence being shown here by Mark Crawford and Harold Druken out defensively with under 90 seconds to go. Now Roddick Bond to the point. Here's York, shot, tip. Doesn't get through. York will try again. Wrist shot high. May have grazed the glove of Potvin, and the Canucks to the line, kept in by Bond. His shot ends up in the corner. York steps up. The goaltender being lifted for an extra attacker as the puck deflects over the glass with 63 seconds to play.
Off of Konopkin over the glass, so the Sens keep the face-off inside the Vancouver zone as Tugnutt had made his way to the bench. Vancouver was blocking shots again, Chris. 3 times the Sens had shots towards Potvin. 3 times the shot never got through to the net. Well, this is a team dedicated to winning low-scoring games right now. Around with 5 defensemen, maybe even 4 defensemen, as Hogwood and Sobel have not seen the ice all that much here in the third. And Crawford will go again, I would think, with Messier and Hendrickson on the ice for that defensive zone draw. Looks like Redden got clipped below his left eye, and they quickly try to close that one so Redden could be available. Timeout, a late timeout called by the Senators, and that's smart by their staff. It's almost like getting 2 timeouts. So Jacques Martin can try to establish what he needs here for this face-off to the near side of Felix Potvin.
Wheels are turning between Martin and Crawford, who worked together on the same bench in Quebec in 94-95.
I think both, if you think of Joel Quenneville and you think of Mark Crawford, I think they learned a lot from this man right here, Jacques Martin. Well, let's see what Martin does and who his extra player is, as Ron Tugnutt will stay off the ice with 1:03 to go. And again, Vancouver has just gone with Messier and Hendrickson. Those 2 centermen, 4 draws all game long. Tugnutt defeated for 2 goals, both on the power play by Vancouver in this game. And Potvin has stopped 32 out of 33. Got a little delay here, Chris, as the glass partition has snapped off the top of the glass. 2 defensemen for Ottawa.
Salo and Redden are poised as Bonk duels with Messier. And from the face-off. Senators get control. Salo in front. Crossbull knocked it down and then couldn't flip it over the sprawled netminder.
You know, Messier wanted to win the puck back to Barron, but the puck actually went right to the hash marks, and the Ottawa Senators were able to control the puck and move it back. And Felix Potvin again comes up big. There you see the two players are going to battle for the puck. It's moved back to Salo, who uses the wrist shot. Prospel's in front, McEachran's in front, but it's the goaltender who gets the puck. Look at Prospel get to the front. There's the deflection, actually stopped the puck, but he couldn't get it over the goaltender. Prospel's been around the puck a lot in this game in the offensive zone. Messier wants to win it back to his left to have Barron fire it out, like you're going to see here possibly.
Barron around on the backhand. Salo kept it in, but Messier has it out. Darby Hendrickson with an open net to seal the deal.
So far, Donald Brashear has the winning goal once again for the Canucks. Messier won this one. He got it back, and Barron couldn't fire the puck around hard because he was on his backhand. But the Canucks went over to the far side of the ice. Barron's got to get it around, but he has to go to his backhand. Messier's a centerman. He releases, as does his winger. The puck is going to be chipped out, and there's Messier feeding Darby Hendrickson right down the middle. And there's the empty net goal, and Vancouver has a 3-1 lead with 47.7 seconds to go. So the Canucks have a good shot at winning 3 games on this road trip. In Toronto, in Buffalo, and so far here in Ottawa. That's some trip for them. They did not play well in Detroit. They played pretty well in a loss in Pittsburgh.
You know, you talked a lot today about face-offs and how the Canucks approach so many of the face-offs in their own zone, and it just seems fitting on this day that a clinching goal, an apparent clinching goal, is scored from controlling the drive.
Tugnut's back in goal.
Lineen battling for the puck in behind the net. Here's Van Allen working it loose. Ledyard had moved up. He knocks it back into the corner. Final 15 seconds. And an unbeaten streak of 5 at home is about to come to an end for the Ottawa Senators. And for the first time in 6 years, the Vancouver Canucks are going to post a win in the nation's capital.
Well, congratulations to the Canucks. A well-played game. Felix Potvin has played well. Donald Brashear, game-winning goals in 2 straight games. But I think for Ottawa, they have to be concerned. They don't have Arvidsson. They don't have Alfredson right now. They've also lost Joey Juneau to a hip flexor today. And right now, the offense for Ottawa